Well, hello everyone. My lighting is really bad today. All right, it is Friday, October 2nd. Oh my goodness. Can you guys believe it is already October? Um, I am Angela Hooper-Menifield of Menifield and Associates, and this is your HR moment with Menifield and Associates. And so a lot of exciting things are happening right now. So before we get into our HR moment, I did want to just talk a little bit about some things in case you didn't see it. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up was the fact that we graduated. I know many of you know that I am a part of the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. And so, hey, Linda, it has been forever. How are you? And so I am a co-founder with the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. And last night we had our graduation of our business bootcamp participants. And to say that it was exciting, encouraging, almost a tad sentimental. You know, when you walk on a journey with people and get to really know them and spend time with them, there is an attachment there. And so this is an 8-week boot camp. And so we're seeing each other several times a week. There are assignments, individual coaching sessions. And so during that period of time, for those people, of course, who actively participate, there is a bond and a connection. And so fortunately enough for us, we do have a membership program that many of those individuals decide to participate in to keep the ball rolling. But I can tell you that so many of them have seen extreme progress in their businesses. It's unbelievable. And what I will say is there's a lot of content out here, right? YouTube, Google, courses after courses. And I think, and I partake of many of them, but I know a couple of things that we bring to the table that all programs don't is a true authenticity and desire to see them succeed, and a giving of ourselves in a way that helps them go to that next level. Hey, Debbie. Oh my gosh, it's been so ever since I've seen you, my friend. I miss you. And so that's one thing. And then you may have also noticed that this past week we launched our podcast. It's titled The Pulse of HR. And I really am asking, and I've been told through the years that I'm not one to usually ask people to do things for me. And I have this air or aura of, I don't need any help. So I'm asking. So don't make me regret. But I'm asking that you consider just doing us a favor and supporting us. If you're our friends, family, it's titled The Pulse of HR. It's with myself and my girlfriend and business partner, Robin Butler. And we're seeking to meet a need in two demographics. One is people who are in this space of consulting with the training and coaching, desiring to be in the HR space, whether that's formally or informally. As also one who teaches that SHRM prep class, I can tell you that there's a lot of people who are working in HR related fields, but not quite in HR yet. So they could potentially be a good candidate. But then the second phase is for supervisors, right? Which ties to this niche. People who don't have an HR department. Oh, thank you so much, Linda. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But so often as small businesses, not corporations, but entities that aren't large enough to have that HR department, that specialist to really give them that kind of guidance and advice. While we're not giving advice, because we definitely will do a disclaimer and say, every case is different, we can give you some general awarenesses and some knowledge and growth in that space. So those are the two audiences we're looking to serve. So that's what's been happening. Of course, that's the radio show, The People's Out of Business, every Thursday, 3:00 p.m. So today's HR topic, and I went there because a couple of things. Number one, there are some coworkers who are starting to, for lack of a better word, fall out. with one another because of opinions and comments that are being made. And I can tell you, even recently, I was on a call with a group that I'm a member of, and there were some things that were starting to be said that I don't want to say it made me uncomfortable, but it made me, as we like to say, give a side eye, like, so tell me how you really feel, right? And so I say that to say, I'm not saying that people don't have opinions and they don't have a right to them, but there is a time and place for everything. And I'm not sure. And again, everybody's job is different. So please do not take my comments to be blanket. But what I will say is think about your audience and also think about your role. Because this is the space that, again, supervisors is where I'm always going to start. I don't think we often realize the ramifications of the words that we say and the implications. So, for instance, I could have a team that's working with me, right? But I am viewed as that leader, that decision maker, the person who has the authority to hire and fire. And then I began to spew my beliefs and opinions. And what it does is it can either create an environment where other people don't feel comfortable saying what they think and feel, because if I'm doing it, then it's clear that the office policy is that it can't be done, because we know I'm not a hypocrite, right? I wouldn't dare do something that I told my employees not to do, or my direct reports. And now there's a chilling, perhaps, that, well, I vehemently oppose these views. So if I were to say them, would that put my job in jeopardy? There's this other influence that I don't think sometimes we could have, that we realize we can have, because we can say things like, I don't know, if it goes this way, it might mean I have to close my doors for my business, because the policies that are attached to this way of thinking are not conducive to my business. That can be viewed as persuasive in a way that it shouldn't be. I'm trying to use my words very carefully, right? Because basically you're letting the employees know that if you go, that direction, so we'll just use forward or backwards instead of left or right, because I'm not trying to have my words attached to any particular entity. Your progress in that direction could end up causing me to close my doors. And so you'll lose your job. So basically, there have been employees that have said that felt like a threat, right? Like, if I did this, the threat is I'll end up unemployed because you may have to close your doors. Now, I'm not saying that the supervisor was trying to threaten, but what I am telling you is there have been cases where the case law supported that this was inappropriate dialogue. And of course, it depends on what are the requirements for your environment. There are many places where neutrality is a requirement, and where you can't even wear stickers or buttons and things like that. My personal opinion is it probably should be more places like that, because it just invites the antagonism of the discussion. But you, as a supervisor, I think it's important, because we supervise all people. So in certain spaces, and depending on who our clientele is, people want to be able to walk in our businesses and feel welcomed. And there are certain things that we can do and or wear and or say that all people don't feel welcome. And so when we talk about so much about diversity and inclusion, and of course, you guys know I do a lot of work in that space, we really don't have to work as hard as I think we think we do when it comes to diversity. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is we're diverse. Like, don't assume just because I'm a woman of color who happens to have braids that I'm just like the woman of color next to me who has braids, right? Like, there's even diversity within those demographics. Because tomorrow, if y'all know anything about me, my hair would be a different color and it'd be straight or it'd be fro looking. So that in of itself is one of the things that makes individuals even diverse. But the fact that we're diverse from other people that may have similarities of us, and we all have similarities. So the diversity piece is there, and I think it's bigger than what we realize because there's invisible and visible diversity, right? The inclusive part is where we struggle. Because if I am to feel included, going back to my original statement, I have to feel welcomed when when I come in to go to work or when I come in to shop or whatever. And employees can feel, I have heard these words. Again, employees, I coach many of them, I talk to them, say things like, I didn't feel safe at work because of the paraphernalia that was plastered everywhere, right? And it doesn't matter which direction. So just be cognizant of there is a value of being neutral in the workplace and staying professional. And there's a lot of people that I know, many I used to respect, I'll just be really transparent, that I've seen things they've said, like, those little digs we do, those little quote unquote sarcastic remarks, those little, this is wrong. Like they're whipping everybody else for being divisive, but then they whip people for being in their post. And they say things, and I just think to myself, really, I had so much more respect for them. That's what's happening in our workplaces too. And for some of these conversations, we're not going to be able to come back from them. Like the way we responded, the way we reacted, the way we judged. Like I had somebody curse at me in a post. It was just so profanity laden. And I just said, oh, I'm sorry, I can't even read your response because you're using profanity with me. And I don't use profanity. And then he used more profanity, like to call me weak or something. I don't know. I guess I really didn't read it once I saw the cuss words pop up or the profanity. That's not necessary. And so this is not a lashing. This is more of think about what you represent, the company you want to represent, as in your organization, your business, if you're self-employed or a business owner, if you're a supervisor, how do you want to be seen? As a bully? As a person who pushes their views on other people, as a person who may be unintentionally stifling others, as a person who may be unintentionally creating an environment that's hostile, right? All of these things are possible. And so the safe way, again, I'm not saying it's the right way or the only way, because we're all free agents and we get to do what we want to do, but just know there's consequences for our actions. But the safe way to deal with this could possibly be simply saying no. Just saying no, like stop. So I encourage you again to think about the value of neutrality. If you've never had a facilitator or somebody come in and check the pulse of your team, I would encourage you to do that. Oftentimes we think we understand how people think and feel about our behaviors in our work environment, and we're sadly mistaken. So just something to think about, again, as we near closer to more, unfortunately, divisive times. All right. So again, my name is Angela Hooper-Menifield. I am requesting that you download our podcast, www.thepulseofhr.com. It's on Apple, Spotify. Of course, you can just go to the link and get access to it there. It's on a couple of other, I think, iHeart platforms, but I really appreciate it. I also would ask that you rate it. And if you know someone who might make a great guest, or even maybe you, I would love to talk to you about that too, because we want to be able to bring some of the best and brightest to the people that we're trying to serve. So everybody have a good weekend. And I look forward to seeing you guys on Monday. Take care. Bye.